Hello, Hampton Roads Democrats, and so many friends who I know are there gathering today to support two great public servants, Congressman Bobby Scott and Glenn Nye. I'm very sorry I can't be with you. I'd originally planned to come to Hampton Roads today to do a rally here right in the closing phase of the election, but the president asked me to go to Cleveland with him in connection with his rally, and I wanted to say yes when the boss asked. But I'm thinking about you and thinking about the importance of these races Tuesday and wanted to just weigh in on behalf of Bobby and Glenn, two great friends and great public servants. These races are very important, and at the end, the key is our field effort. Despite predictions of doom and gloom and Democrats not participating, we're seeing strong early voting throughout the United States. We're seeing polling moving our candidates' way generally since Labor Day. But we know at the end of the day, the only way to make this happen, the only way to win, the only way to overcome secret money pouring into these races from the other side is to do it with the person-to-person outreach that Democrats and Hampton Roads Democrats especially know how to do so well. There's three reasons why we have to be successful Tuesday: because we're right, because we got the right candidates, and third, because of what the other side would do if they gained majority in either houses. First, we're right. We came in, the Democrats, at a tough time in January of 2009 with the election of President Obama. The economy was shrinking by 6% a year, the first time that had happened since the 1930s. And here 20 months later, while we're not where we want to be yet, the economy is growing again. 5 quarters of GDP growth in a row, 9 months of private sector job growth in a row. And we did that as Democrats with important things like the Recovery Act with virtually no help from Republicans. We've achieved other significant victories: equal pay for women, the stopping of combat operations in Iraq, 4 million more American low-income children who have access to health insurance because of the S-chip authorization, credit card reform, Wall Street reform, healthcare reform, so many things we've done that are so very important. Again, all on our own, all over withering Republican opposition. The Democrats are right. We're moving this nation forward. We're a party that's not afraid at a tough time to roll up our sleeves, to act, to make things happen. So that's the first reason that we've got to win. We want to continue that pattern because we know there's so much more to do. We've expanded green energy, but there's more to do to fight climate change. We have seen some significant advances in equality issues, but there's more to do in Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and so many other issues, and so we've got to make sure Democrats remain in control. Second, we need to win because our candidates are right. Bobby Scott is my congressman. As I often joke with Bobby, I live in the last block of the 3rd District in Richmond. Across the street, Eric Kaine is the congressman, and I feel extremely happy that I bought a house on the side of the street that I did, and extremely happy with Bobby's firm leadership, his moral compass, and his key and strategic role in the Democratic leadership. I had the opportunity to get to know and work with Glenn Nye in 2008 when he ran and was struck by his incredible work ethic. We spent a lot of time on the campaign trail together, and he has been a strong and independent voice for Democrats in Hampton Roads, but really for all Virginians and all who care about moving this country forward. These are two great candidates. These are candidates who will work with in a cooperative way President Obama, who's doing a spectacular job as president. They're not rubber stamps, and we don't need rubber stamps in our party. The other guys are pledged to oppose our president at everything he does. We just need to make sure that we put in place Democrats who will read the needs of their districts and their constituencies and work hand in hand with the president in a cooperative way to find solutions to move the nation forward. So that's reason two, we've got the right candidates. And you'll notice I've been positive. I've started with the fact that we're right, and I've started with good candidates, but now let me say a word about the other side. This week it was really crystallized. Mitch McConnell, the Senate Minority Leader, was asked the easiest question you ever get in politics. It's the question that everybody has to answer when they run for office. Why are you running for office? It's not a trick question. It's not an interrogation. He was asked, Senator McConnell, if the Republicans gain the majority in either house, what will be your priorities? Now, he could have talked about the economy, and you might think that he would, or about jobs, Americans still suffering through unemployment. He might have talked about America's role in the world, our global competitiveness, education, for all that they make of it. He might have talked about the deficit in spending, but he didn't talk about any of that. In fact, he didn't talk about a single thing that would solve a single problem that Americans are experiencing around the kitchen table or in their businesses. What he said was this. He said the number one Republican priority, if we get a majority, is to make sure that President Obama is a one-term president. Now, that is arrogant and brazen. I've known that was their goal since Inauguration Day because we've seen it in full display in Washington as they voted against virtually everything the president has proposed. I'm not surprised that the economy isn't their goal, because if they cared about the economy, they wouldn't have tanked the economy when they had the reins of power and then walked away from it whistling as they did. If our foreign standing was important to them, they wouldn't have shredded our alliances abroad as they did when they had control. So I knew those issues weren't important, but I never thought that they would be so brazen as to look the American public in the face a week before Election Day and say that the only thing we care about isn't solving any of your problems. Our top priority is just maintenance of power. Look, let's face it. The other guys, they like to win elections. But we Democrats, we like to serve. We know we're in a challenging time in this nation, but we also, as Democrats, are optimistic about the ingenuity and the spirit of the American people. And we can't afford to let government go back into the hands of people who believe in secret money, who believe in special interests, and who believe that there is no goal higher than the maintenance of their own political power. There's just too many people out in this country who are still hurting, too many people who still need us forging ahead with a great president to find great solutions. Bobby Scott and Glenn Nye are two such representatives. And over the course of the next days between now and when the polls close Tuesday, I need you to do everything you possibly can. The phone call that you make might be that call that produces a vote that could be the margin. We're going to have close races all over this country, and the work that you do between now and Tuesday is going to make a huge difference. So once again, I'm sorry that I'm not with you. My heart is in Virginia, but I'm a frequent flyer these days working for a fantastic president and the oldest political party in the world, the party that stands for everyday people, especially at a tough time, producing solutions to move this nation forward. Have a great rest of the rally. Do all you can. We're going to surprise some folks Tuesday night. Thanks very much.